Plaintiff Rose Clark was friends with the defendant's wife, and after they divorced, the defendant hired Rose to redesign a room in his home. Rose claims after working together, she discovered the defendant was arrogant and controlling, and she's suing him for unpaid wages. Defendant Timothy Berry says when he hired Rose, she agreed to help him out as a friend and within a strict budget. But instead, she billed him for 39 and a half hours of work for a tiny bedroom.
Start with you.
I've known Mr. Berry for several years, probably about 8 years, and I was really good friends with his wife, and that's how I got to know him. And
His wife still alive?
yeah, but they're divorced now. So on October 31st of last year, he invited me over for a consultation because he had another house now. And he hired me to redesign one of his rooms, and he wanted it to be made into an entertainment / guest bedroom.
Okay.
So at that time, we briefly discussed payment, and I have...
How was he as a friend over the years?
Oh, well, he was a lovely person. I mean, I just thought the world of him. But then, after working with him for that month and towards the end of it, I found out that he wasn't who I thought he was. And in fact, he was very arrogant, self-centered, and egotistical.
Your Honor,
yes.
excuse me, we did not discuss payment that first day. I just want to clarify that. I know
All
you'll
right.
give me time to speak after, but we did not
You can
discuss.
speak now. Give me some background on your friendship with her, your association,
Sure. Well,
anything else
it's
you want
nice
me to
that
know.
you mentioned the word friends because pre-divorce we were friends as couples. We got along fine. I had asked her if she would come help me update this particular
When?
room. This was last year, November,
Okay.
right around Thanksgiving, between November and Christmas. I'd asked her if she would come if she was interested in helping me update a room. We'll start out with the smallest room in the house. It was 10 by 11, 11 by 12, right around there. Turn it into a game room. But I had some stipulations. I know her from working on the previous home. It was a much bigger home. I had a much bigger budget. I had a different job. I have a much smaller income. So I asked if she was interested in helping me as a friend, would she be able to do it simple? And would she be able to do it within a strict budget? And she assured me, yes, that's not a problem.
Plaintiff Rose Clark was hired to redesign a room in the defendant's home, and she claims after they started working together, she discovered he was arrogant and controlling.
I'll let her tell me about why she's suing you, and then you have to defend yourself.
Okay.
But
Okay, he doesn't even have the right dates. The date was October 31st. That was the first consultation. In fact, he was thinking about selling that house, just staying there for maybe 4 or 5 years, and he wanted to reap the benefits. So I walked through his entire house with him, giving him lots of ideas because he had lots of questions, because that house really did need a lot of work done to it in order for him to sell it at a good price. We briefly discussed that. I told him, I have it right here, that this is my list of services.
please.
Thank you.
And in the second section, it shows that I charge $29.99 per hour for shopping. However, for him, since he was a friend, I mentioned to him, Tim, I'll do it for you for half price. So I was going to do it for $10 an hour, which is totally unheard of in the interior design industry. And I am a formally educated interior designer, and I have work of like CAD and illustrations and a lot of different
Where do you live?
Where do I live? Right now I live in Munhall, Pennsylvania, which is right outside of Pittsburgh.
Well, so, okay. I honestly was going to see if after this case I might have contemplated engaging you. I really
Okay.
am redecorating my apartment here.
All right,
And
I'm ready.
I refuse to allow my wife to participate. Because I want to be able to do something for myself. Now, I got this little small apartment. I stay here in Chicago when I'm taping, and I'm decorated the way I want to. Were you available, it would be
I'd
you
be
and I would
happy.
be decorating
Yeah, I'd be happy
the
to
way
help
we
ya.
wanted to.
Well,
So you did these things, and when you ask for your money, what has he said?
well, I spend so many hours on this because I did it exactly the way he wanted me to do it. And he's very controlling, and I never did a job this way before. What I usually do is I use this It's
You
evidence.
see that? What is that?
Your Honor,
This is my interior design consultation,
What's that, sir?
this is a 10 by 11 room. This isn't an entire home.
which
I
made
wanted
more
it to be as
difficult.
simple as possible. Some of the things that she said is not accurate. She didn't explain her fee going for at the very first day
Ma'am?
at all because I told her that I
did.
couldn't afford
I
professional
mentioned
services.
$10 an hour.
If I had a huge pay
You're
cut,
telling me that, but I don't see anything in writing.
right? We
I
have
got-
no contract.
I got
That's
all
the thing.
kinds of
We
stuff.
didn't. I didn't
Plus
sign
tax.
anything.
Give me one thing where he says he's going to pay or that he agreed to pay.
Okay, got
All
it
right,
right
sir,
here.
you give me your side of it with regard to what
We
was
began
the
as
agreement.
when she says I have the date wrong, I probably do.
Okay.
We began as friends. I thought this was going to be a friend thing. I reached out to try and reconcile, to try and pay something that I thought was reasonable. No one spends 39 and a half hours decorating one room. When she says I'm controlling, if you consider me saying that I need 5 items for this room, okay, that's controlling. It's 10 by 11, 10 and a half by 11 and a
And you
half.
What made
spent
it
It's the
so-
smallest bedroom.
39 hours?
39 and a half.
Because of the way he wanted me to do it. He wanted me to start with Craigslist. So that's
I
what
wasn't
I
going to
did.
tell her how to do her job. I
Yeah.
just said I needed 5 items. That was it.
No.
She could go down the street and pick it up
I
somewhere.
have proof right here, Your Honor, of everything.
Of
Show
what?
you. Well, here's the part about
But do you have
The
work
350?
product? Can you show me work
Yes, Your
product
Honor.
of 39 hours?
39 and a half.
'Cause
Yes, Your Honor. You
that's
have
what
to.
happened.
yes.
Let me tell you what we do as lawyers, and your profession is no different than lawyers. Hold on, because you get paid by the hour.
Right.
Absolutely.
So what
Right.
happens with lawyers when there's a conflict, when the client says, I think you're overcharging me, we have to provide them with work product. So what do you have showing the billing
Your Honor.
Well, this is just a little part of it.
and any agreement up front
Yeah.
or even afterwards where he says, I will pay you a certain
have
amount?
that.
Let me hear from you now, sir. You wanted to show me something.
Well, I have I have the information that she sent me, and I really thought it was comical. So these are the 39 and a half hours, and
Let's
this
see
is
it,
the
please,
detail.
Doyle.
The first 3 days, just the first 3 days, she researched Craigslist for 7 hours on one day. The very next day, she researched Craigslist again for 6 hours. Another one, 7 hours. We're talking in 3 or 4 days, she spent over 20 hours.
Can I explain? Because I have proof of everything. And here's,
Hours work for Tim Berry. October 31st. What do you have for that? You say you did 3 hours. What did you do on the first day for 3 hours?
oh, well, that was the consultation.
We walked around and had
Usually
glasses of wine, Your Honor. She's charging me for my bottle of wine that I
No,
gave
no.
and shared with her husband,
No.
herself, and myself, walking around the house
To win your business.
to win my business.
No.
Right. I was giving advice
No,
and
Judge
saying what
Mathis.
I wanted to do to the home.
be a good
What did she
lawyer.
think?
How about November 1st, 7 hours? That's the very next day. What'd you do for that, man?
Okay, that's when I started on Craigslist. And I have a list
And
of...
you were on there for 7 hours?
Yes, I was.
Let me see your work product for 7 hours on
Because-
Craigslist.
May I explain?
I can see it. I'll look and I'll be able to see.
Plaintiff Rose Clark was hired to redesign a room in the defendant's home, and she claims after they started working together, she discovered he was arrogant and controlling.
How about November 2nd to 6 hours? What did you do then?
November 2nd. Let me
The
find-
very next day, you charged you for 6 hours.
Oh, okay. I did.
3 days after that, you charged him for 7 hours.
Okay.
Next day, 5 hours. Next day, 8 hours.
What happened was he wanted Craigslist first. Then he decided he didn't want to go through Craigslist. He wanted me to go through Wayfair.
All right, tell me what else you did other than look for the
Okay,
items.
this is part of the process. So
Tell me
give
first.
this to-
Tell me.
Okay. I looked through 1,944 sofa love seats, sofas.
You looked at
sofas,
how many, ma'am?
1,944, and that's even after the filters. I, like you filter out
What is it you want to
colors.
do, sir, with this? You want to pay her a little,
I'm
sir?
sorry?
Do you want to pay her something, don't you?
I would. Yes, I would.
All
I
right.
absolutely
Can
would.
we-
But I think that is the number that she originally gave of 350. I think is outrageous.
How much?
She gave the original number of 350.
You're fine with that?
No, I think that's
How much,
outrageous.
sir?
For me,
Yes.
$100, $150.
Oh my gosh.
Did you ever offer him 350? Did you ever request 350?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
All right, well,
and I
we're
had
going to
it-
stay with that, ma'am.
I had it right here.
Ma'am, what you just told me is very unreasonable that you would go through 1,000 couches. That is very unreasonable.
Your Honor,
and no one should have to pay for that. You viewing 1,000 couches to come up with one. $350 is your judgment. Have a good day.